So welcome back, my friends, to another video here on the channel. Today, we are back in Black Ops 6 Zombies, and I'm going to be doing my very best to give you some tips and tricks into completing the Terminus Easter egg on round 50. Just a quick note, ahead of time, it actually has to be round 51. People have done it on round 50, and it didn't count for some reason, so make sure to get to round 51 before actually entering the boss fight, or it might not count, and you would have just done all of that for absolutely nothing. If you do enjoy this one, leave a like, subscribe for more. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'm going to be as thorough as I can, and the gameplay you guys are going to be seeing up on screen is a little bit of round 50, going into 51, and then the actual boss fight itself. So I'm going to explain what we did personally, and if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, just adapt it to your play style. Everybody's different. That's what you got to understand. Everybody has a different play style. What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. And we're just going to leave it at that. Now, I will say, first things first, you got to know how to do the Easter egg. If you don't know how to do it, I have a guide on my channel. This video is not going to be explaining how to actually do the Easter egg. It's going to be kind of explaining what we did in order to do the secret Dark Ops challenge. Because again, the Dark Ops challenge is called Terminal, I think, or whatever. It has one of the cooler calling cards. I think it's really, really sweet. I love what the calling card looks like personally. It's one of my more favorite, I think it's one of my favorite ones. Animated and stuff. It looks really, really cool. If you want to see what it looks like, I'll show it towards the end of this video. Now, what we found out is explosives are really, really, really good on the boss. Now, the boss has 3 different phases typically. I guess you can say they're split up in first, second, and third phase. The final phase is when he kind of starts doing the charge up thing. Apparently, the final phase, people have said, we weren't using this in here. The Shadow Rift ammo mod or whatever it's called is apparently really, really good on that phase. I think the first phase was Napalm and the second phase was Deadwire. All 3 of those ammo mods are going to be really, really good and really beneficial for you. Now, obviously you want to get all of these steps done as early as possible, and then after that, just focus on getting the round 50, getting salvage and whatnot, getting, some essence so you can buy some things that you're going to need. Now, if you need, obviously bring in whatever gobblegum you think is going to, be best for you personally. I didn't really use a whole lot of gobblegum except like shields up and stuff, some really, really, really basic gobblegum and whatnot. Beyond that, I didn't personally really use much. One of my teammates was using profit sharing to get money a little bit more quickly and stuff. I personally did not have much, trouble getting enough money. So obviously you want all the perks, things like that, right? You want your triple plates. These are kind of obvious things. Chopper gunners would actually work super well. I forgot to use my chopper gunner in the boss fight because once you're in it, you're kind of like, there's so much happening, you almost forget what to use. So chopper gunners, it is on the outside, so you could technically use chopper gunners if you want to. What I brought in was the dual GS45s. Now, you have to level them up and whatnot, and then you can kind of, you can bring them in as a loadout, or you can kind of set it so like when you buy it off the wall, basically if you push L2 when you're kind of hovering over your loadout in the edit loadout screen, it'll be so, excuse me, when you buy it off the wall in the game, it's going to be that setup with those attachments. So I'm using Akimbos because when you pack a punch them, they're like Akimbo explosive bullets. And again, explosives do really good. 1 or 2 of my teammates, I forget if both of them had it or not, but at least one of them did, was using the Sigma rocket launcher, which is actually surprisingly stupidly good on the boss fight. The explosive damage melts, and if you look at the very, 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 very end of the boss fight, you're going to see that it actually, one of my teammates just starts firing off these rockets, and he was the only one shooting because I was going to try to res my other teammate who was down in the water. You'll see it at that point in the boss fight. It's at the very end when we first, actually finished the boss fight. And yeah, so my teammate was just firing those Sigma rocket launchers, fully pack-a-punched or whatnot, and it was doing some serious damage, which is absolutely insane. So that's what I'm going to say, is that hopefully they don't patch that. Time for recording is currently November, well, we did this on November 4th, let's say. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that is explosives just seem to do really good. These dual wieldies do really good. Me and one of my other teammates also had the beam smasher. It does really good for kind of slowing down ads and stuff and kind of melting them. It also has that kind of laser beam that can do some pretty decent damage on the boss as well. So I like bringing that in, but I mean, you bring whatever you want in that you're comfortable with, but I do think the wonder weapon on this map is pretty good. But like I said, explosives are really good. So you get the dual wielding GS45s, pack-a-punched, and or the Sigma. it's going to do some serious work. So again, make sure you have, fully pack punches. That's the obvious, full legendary stuff. In terms of field upgrades, obviously, things like healing aura is going to be able to instantly res your teammates. And if if you're not doing this solo, or to basically heal yourself, or both, depending, those are pretty good. I was using Energy Mine. Like you can pop one of those down, can kind of help clear some of the ads out and whatnot. So little things like that could kind of help you guys out when you're kind of going through this. But for the most part, I would just say, the thing that gets the trickiest, I think, is how freakishly fast the zombies start kind of running once you get to like 40, and especially up to round 45. It's like they just get this shot of adrenaline in them, and they just start absolutely booking it everywhere. And that's going to make it so like the ads in the boss fight are going to run a little bit quicker as well. They're going to be a little bit more juiced up, for lack of a better word. They're just crazy. And again, you can see how fast basically we end up doing some initial boss damage just with these explosives. So I mean, it's really good. The setup we got is really good. You can make it even better, like I said, if you use that Sigma, if you have the right ammo mods and whatnot. So make sure you guys do have that equipped. I don't even know. I don't think I even had. I think I might have forgot to put an ammo mod on my GS45s potentially, from what I am seeing in my gameplay. But anyways, like I said, Deadwire, Napalm Burst, the Shadow Rift or whatever it's called. Those seem to be really good on the boss as well. And besides that, the Klasmir grenades could be really good, right? Dark Hole, kind of like distract the zombies. They'll get sucked into the Klasmir. Monkey Bombs could also be good. Decoy grenades, if you want to go the cheap route. Decoys don't last very, very long, but if you need just kind of, you're in a pinch. Those are 3 things that I would definitely recommend bringing in. Tomahawks, they still one-hit zombies very high round. It's incredible. So I would definitely bring that. If you have enough time, which you should, unless you go down and have to rebuy your perks a bunch, which I actually went down in this gameplay. I went like in this run. I ended up going down like, I think 4 times. I just got caught in like a corner or something. I had to rebuy my perks like 4 or 5 times, and I still ended up with like 60,000 essence going into this boss fight. So we were pretty set. Obviously, you want to have a little bit of extra essence if you can, because then you could buy, there's an ammo crate. You can restock your ammo and whatnot if you need, especially if you're bringing in the GS45s and whatnot. They just don't have a lot of ammo in them. Same thing with the Sigma. They don't have a lot of ammo in them either. So you want to bring those in if you can as well. But yeah, like I said, if you have enough money to fully pack a punch your knife, fully pack a punch your knife, make it gold if you have enough salvage, make it gold rarity, right? And then obviously with melee macchiato as well, it's going to do some serious work. For example, manglers, you can go up to a mangler, you can knife a mangler in the back a couple times, maybe like 2-3 times, and that mangler is just done for. It doesn't take much, again, if you're in a pinch and you just want to get rid of it quick. I actually found knifing manglers to be a lot quicker to kill them with this setup with fully pack-a-punch, gold tier, knife with melee macchiato. I found it way faster to do it like that than it was just to shoot them, whether it was with the beam smasher or with my dual wielding GS45s. I will say the dual wielding GS45s do the least amount of damage between the 3. The beam smasher slow down the elite zombie and do a bunch of damage to its head with the R2. That is probably like your best bet if you can't knife. But if you can knife them with this setup, like I said, make sure you bring in like a knife like that, because it might just do you well if you have enough essence. I would not make it your priority, but it could help. It can help, and you're gonna slice through normal zombies like butter with this thing. 1 or 2 swipes, and they're just dead. It's incredible. I love the melee fully upgraded in this game. So that's kind of the gist of it for the most part. I think it's just kind of like keep at it, keep kind of circling around, watching your back, try to communicate if you're with your teammates. Are we going to be running clockwise or counterclockwise? We communicated that, but yet we kept kind of running into each other. I will say also, when you're setting up, if you are with, I like the upper courtyard, which you've seen earlier at the beginning of the gameplay we were kind of at. I prefer the upper courtyard personally, but some people like to run in the biolab, but I think that's a little bit kind of more of a pinch. We did try this in a separate time the previous night, and two of my teammates were kind of running in the underground in the biolab. I was upstairs in the court, and we ended up just it's things. I don't know if it's just one of those runs. Things just went wrong. It just didn't work. But this run, all three of us were in the courtyard. We weren't even like training properly. We were just all kind of like running all over the place like buffoons, and just kind of like, just spamming stuff, throwing whatever we had at enemies and shooting our explosives at large groups of enemies around. It worked for us. It was utter chaos, and you would have thought that would have been counterproductive, counterintuitive, and that it just wouldn't have worked out. But all three of us just kind of running around in the courtyard upstairs, it worked out. I don't know how. It just with our playing style, personally, and just together as a group and as a team, it just worked out for us. So that's something to maybe consider. But beyond that, like I said, just kind of keep at it. Use streaks as you're trying to get to round 50 or 51 rather. Use streaks because special zombies are going to be dropping streaks, so you can cycle through those to kind of help you get through some of the waves a little more easily. They're going to be dropping mutant injections and chopper gunners and whatnot, and by the time you get to round 50, you should have enough salvage to buy a bunch of stuff anyway, so you can cycle through that. You can cycle through dropping down monkey bombs and plasma grenades as you see fit. Obviously, if you spam those too much and buy too much of those, you will run out of salvage, but you can utilize that to some extent to help you get to round 51, and you should be good to go. So like I said, Gobblegum, bring in Gobblegum that you think is going to help you with your playstyle, and beyond that, maybe that hopefully gives you some tips and tricks to help you out. Maybe all that was obvious, but like I always say, what's obvious to you may not be obvious to someone else, and I just want to kind of explain to you guys what we did to have a successful run personally, and you can take it from there. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this one, leave it a like, subscribe for more, and let me know if you have any other suggestions, or let all of us know in the comments if you have any other suggestions and tips and tricks on how to get this done even more easily, just for everybody kind of wondering. Besides that, enjoy the calling card. I think it's a sweet calling card, and it's another Dark Ops knocked off the list. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, go check out the other content. There's going to be a playlist for Black Ops 6 zombie stuff down in the description below, including how to do Liberated, which is the Liberty Falls Easter egg in under 30 minutes. Till the next one, my friends, game on, and thanks for watching.
Today must have been very difficult for you, Pack. Humiliating, even. But at least we eliminated that monster and Modi. Gather in the guard station. I have a proposal that I believe may interest you.
Hey you! What are you doing? Join the Skeleton Army! Do it today! Don't wait till tomorrow because tomorrow might never come. The Earth is gonna fade, that's inevitable. The next second of your life's not even promised, so you better think about where you're going, and you might as well just join the Skeleton Army. Plus, we do kind of like you a little bit, so it'd be nice to see you around here. But if you don't want to, hey, your loss. See you later.